If you own a home in Central Georgia, somewhere between Atlanta and Macon, or if you're thinking about moving here soon, then you're probably keeping an eye on the housing market. Well, now that January 2025 has finally wrapped up, I've got the latest market insights to share with you. This month, we are seeing some shifts, and I'm breaking down what's happening with home prices, inventory, days on market, and buyer demand. Plus, stick around to the end because I'm going to be sharing specific tips for both buyers and sellers on how to navigate this market right now. Let's get started. Let's start with the big picture before we get into the details. Now, as always, I'm focusing on single-family homes in what most folks around here call South Metro Atlanta, and that's the area that stretches between Atlanta and Macon. If you're curious about other types of properties or other areas in Georgia, just let me know. One of the things I look at is months of supply, and that tells us how long it would take to sell all of the homes that are currently on the market if no new ones were listed. That gives us a good read on whether we're in a buyer's market, a seller's market, or somewhere in between. Now, for January 2025, the months of supply ticked up to 4.8 months. Now, that's up from 4.5 months in December. What does that mean? Well, it just means we're in a pretty balanced market still. It's not really favoring buyers or sellers, but we are seeing inventory build up just a little bit. Why is inventory building? Well, homes are just sticking around on the market a little bit longer, and that increases inventory. Buyers are still active. They're out there looking, but they're taking a more measured approach compared to last year. And let's be honest, January is always a bit of a reset month for everybody. More homes start hitting the market as people shift back into home buying mode after the holidays. Now, this uptick isn't huge, but it is something to keep an eye on as we move into the spring market. We'll see if the trend continues or if buyers start making moves in a bigger way. Let's talk about home prices because I know that's what most people are really watching. Now, for January 2025, the average home price in South Metro Atlanta, Central Georgia, landed at $372,000. That's up slightly from December's $364,000, and it's right in line with a moderate appreciation in home values over the last year. Here's where it gets interesting. When you zoom in on individual counties, you start to see some different trends. In Butts County, home prices rose 7.7%. Suggesting that limited inventory and competitive pricing strategies really help drive values upward despite a slight slowdown in sales. In Henry County, prices decreased by 5%, likely due to higher inventory and buyers having more negotiating power in one of the region's more competitive markets. Over in Lamar County, the average price dropped 8.8%. That indicates that more affordable homes made up a larger share of January's sales compared to December. And in Jasper County, prices increased by 28.1%, likely driven by a shift towards higher-end home sales or a limited lower price inventory in January. In Monroe, there was an 11.4% price increase. Monroe continues to show strength in the luxury and mid-tier markets. They're attracting buyers that are looking for space and upscale options. Spalding County, home prices rose by 14%. That's reflective of increased demand in a market where buyers are still actively competing, especially for move-in ready properties. So what does this mean? Not every market is behaving the same way. If you're looking to buy, there may be great opportunities in counties where prices are cooling off. For sellers, getting your pricing strategy right from the start is key, especially in areas experiencing price shifts. In January 2025, the average list-to-sale price ratio dropped to 95%, down from 100% in December and 110% in November. This continued downward trend suggests that buyers are negotiating more aggressively, and sellers are making price adjustments to attract offers. Compared to last January, when the ratio was much higher, this signals a market where buyers are gaining leverage and well-priced homes are standing out while overpriced listings are just going to sit on the market. For sellers, pricing competitively from the start is more critical than ever. Buyers may find increased opportunities for negotiations and potential price reductions, though. In January, the average days on market rose to 64 days, continuing the upward trend from 58 days in December and 56 days in November. This steady increase aligns with seasonal patterns as the first quarter of the year often sees a slower real estate market following the holidays. However, when compared to January 2024's 45-day average, this marks a 42% increase year over year, indicating a longer sales cycle and less aggressive market. Breaking this down further, the average time on the market has jumped by nearly 3 weeks compared to last year, reinforcing that sellers need patience and strategy. Sellers have to be patient and price competitively in order to attract buyers. And buyers have a little more negotiating power with longer listing times, giving them opportunities for better deals. If this trend continues into February, it could indicate a longer-term market shift rather than just seasonal slowing. Now, many buyers have been holding out for a major rate drop, but as the past year has shown, those dips haven't been as dramatic as expected. In January, rates hovered around 6.91%, and that's up a little bit from December's 6.72%, showing that fluctuations are still very much in play. The latest forecast should suggest that rates may stay in the 6.5% to 7% range for most of the year, with maybe small declines later on. So what does this mean if you're buying a home? Waiting for rates to drop significantly may not be the best strategy. Instead, secure a home at today's pricing with a plan to refinance later if the rates fall. That may be the smartest move. The market is still active, and buyers who focus on negotiation strategies, seller incentives, and long-term investment potential are putting themselves in a strong position. Bottom line, don't let rate speculation hold you back from finding the right home. The January 2025 real estate market in Central Georgia saw a slight uptick in activity compared to December, but trends indicate that both buyers and sellers need to stay strategic. Historically, January marks the beginning of an early spring market, and this year appears to be no different. However, with higher days on the market and fluctuating list-to-sell price ratios, navigating this market effectively does require a well-thought-out plan. Buyers, if you're house hunting in Central Georgia, here's what you need to know. Affordability is stabilizing. While prices increase slightly overall, Butts, Jasper, and Spalding counties continue to offer the best entry-level price points for affordability. Spalding in particular is holding plenty of inventory at the $250,000 price range. That makes it a great area for first-time home buyers. Sellers are increasingly open to negotiations, and that gives you more opportunities to secure favorable terms. With homes sitting longer, especially in Lamar and Jasper counties, buyers are finding better deals and increased room for negotiation. Look for homes that have been on the market for 40-plus days. These sellers are more likely to negotiate on price, repairs, or even offer concessions. Luxury buyers have more choices. Monroe County remains the strongest market for higher-end homes, and Henry continues to have the largest inventory of homes that are priced at $500,000 or more. So if you're shopping in this price point, please look for price reductions in homes that have been sitting on the market for 45-plus days. There are deals to be found. Now for sellers, if you're planning to list your home this winter or early spring, the key is strategy. Overpricing equals longer market time, period. We're seeing a widening gap between list price and actual sale price, meaning buyers are pushing back on homes priced too aggressively. Pricing your home right from the start is critical if you want to sell in a reasonable time frame. Now in Butts and Jasper counties, homes need to make a strong first impression to attract motivated buyers. These markets have been experiencing buyer hesitation, so small upgrades like fresh paint, minor repairs, or curb appeal enhancements, that can make a huge difference in attracting offers. Henry and Monroe County sellers need to be competitive. Inventory is increasing in these areas and buyers have more choices, so sellers need to price competitively and consider incentives like closing cost assistance or rate buy-downs to get offers faster. Now the market's always moving, and whether you're thinking about buying, selling, or you're just keeping an eye on things, you don't want to get caught flat-footed. The numbers are helpful, but they don't tell the whole story. Every home, every situation, and every buyer and seller is different. That's where I come in. So if you're wondering what all this means for you, let's talk. No pressure, no gimmicks, just real, honest advice to help you make the best decision. My info is below, so please reach out and let me lend a hand.